Getting a Crunchyroll subscription is the best choice if you want to spend hours on anime and are looking for some hidden names. But it doesn't mean that other platforms don't have some rocking titles on them. Netflix is the biggest online streaming platform and has been on the throne for quite some time. What's surprising is that these days, Netflix has taken a peculiar interest in anime and has been producing originals and making existing titles available too. Welcome to Anime Ikigai. Join us today as we look into the top 10 animes to watch on Netflix in 2021. Number 10. Food Wars. When it comes to emphasizing extremely on a singular factor, only a few anime out there can rival the reputation of Food Wars. In terms of the anime community, Food Wars is quite popular but not as big as the top shonen titles out there. Nonetheless, it has a very well-crafted storyline with colorful characters and a very huge focus on food. I meant to say food. And you might wonder, how could an anime about food and chefs and edibles be under the ecchi title? Well, I guess you have the right to know that the ecchi factor in Food Wars is one of its main strengths and weaknesses. And to know more about how this anime is ecchi, we suggest you see for yourself.
Going in for a second bite? I thought I heard something about you only needing one.
What is your problem? Do not interrupt the god.
I'm just kidding. Relax and enjoy.
Number 9. Sword Art Online. Regardless of the blind hate that Sword Art Online gets, mostly because the internet tells people to hate it, it should be said that it has earned its spot in our eyes and on this list. The first season of SAO was an absolute banger with a very original story under a very generic and overused genre. It took the elements of Ikigai and modernized them into something very serious and something that fans could relate to a certain degree. The protagonist and his engagements inside the game world that he is trapped in always had a sense of risk that kept the fans on the edge and wanting for more. No wonder Netflix saw this as a moneymaker.
It could be a coincidence or even a hoax. Do you think it's even remotely possible to stop a player's heart in the real world with virtual bullets from a virtual gun?
This is real power.
Her number 8. Neon Genesis Evangelion. We would have ranked Evangelion higher on this list, but to be honest, this anime has paid its dues and has topped a lot of other lists in the past. Besides, it has aged quite well and now works as a foundation for modern anime. Regardless of how old this series might be, Evangelion was one of the best to ever do it under the psychological thriller genre. The story of Shinji Ikari and his daddy issues molded with him taking out his frustrations in the form of abuse and harassment, all while fighting giant aliens in mech armor. It may sound a bit odd, but man, is it angelic. Number 7. One Punch Man. Again, One Punch Man is ranked so low? We know that One Punch Man is wildly popular and has one of the most interesting settings out there, but when compared to the titles in this list, the story and plot of One Punch Man seems a little plain. Don't get me wrong, One Punch Man excels in things like animation, dry humor, character dynamic, and a proper protagonist, but it is the direction of the story that keeps it from ranking higher in the list. But One Punch Man is one of the major attractions for people who are new to anime and is therefore a great addition to Netflix.
Even Master Saitama cannot explain it. The secret to his incredible power.
In exchange for power, maybe I've lost something that's essential for being wrong.
Number 6. Haikyuu Sports anime always have a special place in the hearts of the audience because it is the epitome of the hard work trope in anime. Unlike shonen titles where the magic of hard work seems oftentimes forced, Haikyuu took this idea and made it as realistic as it gets. Haikyuu follows the story of Hinata Shoyo, a high school boy of a small stature who dreamt of joining the Kasurano volleyball team, following his idol and with a determination to one day beat his rival Kageyama. But when Hinata finds himself teaming up with his rival in the same school at the same club, the two must overcome their differences and work as a team to be the best there is.
日向に飛びついたと思ったのに 今日何をした？でも僕らは等しくバレーボールへの挑戦者だ。
Number 5. Demon Slayer. I'm pretty sure most of you have seen the Infinity Train movie, and it adds more to the fact that Demon Slayer is a modern giant that is rapidly climbing the ranks among the new titles in anime. While it still doesn't have a legacy worth competing with the pioneers of anime that have defined the decade, Demon Slayer is nearly flawless when it comes to proper storytelling and stellar animation. The story of a genuinely kind person, Tanjiro, wielding a sword and murdering demons while searching for a cure to turn his little sister back to human may sound a bit adventurous, but under these circumstances, the mangaka has managed to insert some very deep elements like friendship, abandonment, and other social issues, all of this from a demonic perspective.
人間に戻してやるから。
お兄ちゃん、いってらっしゃい。
Number 4. Hunter x Hunter. You know the show is a masterpiece when you rarely see any fan complaining or being toxic about it. Unlike most shonen titles out there, Hunter x Hunter has one of the most loyal and satisfied fan bases. Satisfied with what they got to see. Hunter x Hunter is set in a world of hunters who are mercenaries but with a good reputation and with honor. Our protagonist, Gon, is a teenage boy who aims to be a hunter and live up to the reputation that his father earned as one of the greatest hunters to ever live. This puts him up against countless foes and teams him up with lifelong allies that accompany him in his quest to know the reason why his father valued the title of hunter so much.
Do you remember who I am?
I want you to tell me!
Number 3. Attack on Titan. It is the hottest anime of this decade and arguably a modern classic that has few rivals when it comes to quality and plot. Right now, Attack on Titan is the epitome of anime. Almost everyone has watched or at least heard of it. So much so that they might end up dethroning Dragon Ball in terms of popularity. The story follows a world behind high walls and people who live within it, fearing the outside world as it is dominated by enormous humanoid creatures known as Titans. And these Titans have decided that humans are the tastiest dish on the menu. Eren Yeager, the protagonist, goes through some radical changes and presents an art of character development that the audience has not seen in years.
人類と巨人ども、どちらが生き残り、どちらが死ぬか。
Number 2. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. This is one of those anime that will remain unshaken no matter how many new titles may debut because of the lessons and values of life that are taught. Full Metal Alchemist may have been set in a fantasy world where people were capable of doing superhuman things, but it still grounded itself to reality, delivering a story that the audience could relate to. FMA Brotherhood's vast focus on supporting characters, along with how their dynamic went with the story, truly made every episode a pivotal point and did not disappoint the audience with the mystery and the eerie vibe they were trying to create. Edward Elric's maturity, from a rash kid to a responsible adult, is also one of the major attractions of the series.
音見えるか。
兄さん
ラッキー。
And finally, number 1. Death Note. Given that Netflix ended up buying all the distributing rights of Death Note and even made a Netflix original out of it, despite how bad it was, you can say that Netflix wants Death Note to be the cornerstone of anime shows on their platform. Death Note is a cat and mouse chase between Detective Al and Light Yagami, who just happens to be a teenager with a little bit of god complex and a notebook that allows him to kill people by simply writing their name on it. Death Note's pace and constant turmoil in the story make it one of the best animes out there and still worth watching even in 2021.
I'm not afraid to kill. How and when it happens is entirely in my hands. All I need is a name, a face, a pen, and this notebook.
And that was our list. Yes, we have missed some major titles that did deserve a spot here, but it was a top 10 list, and there are like 100 good animes to watch on Netflix, so don't forget to pick your poison and take your time with it. This is Anime Ikigai, and we will see you in the next video.